harap na kamo kung ginaamin niya pag solve. So balik lang niya just to show the details of what we do when we are solving a linear equation. So kaya niya ang tatawag na linear because iton aton variable din iton iya exponent is 1. So kunwari nga exponent, of course that's 1. Tapos in join. Okay. Tapos kung if we are going to graph a linear equation, the graph looks like a line. So amo talaga yung reason kaya yan tatawag na linear equation. So you should already know this. Nagiging makorelay niya kung sugad-sugad din na number 3, wherein we have to deal with fractions or mga negative gyapon. But kung normal na mga integers, then this is very easy. And so here I gave to you the steps that are needed for you to be able to basically ano itong follow as steps when we are solving a linear equation. Tapos I gave you here some word problems. So basically what it just wants you to do here is to express or what we call manipulate the equation to express one variable in terms of the other. So in here, you are given the formula for the volume of a cone. So that is equal to pi r squared h. Tapos iton iya gusto yan na kay is i-express iton formula wherein we are going to solve for the height kung given iton volume and iton radius. So this is the process that we do when we are going to manipulate the formula. So in here na kung gin-multiply na 3 over pi r squared, this is simply the reciprocal hiton coefficient iton r squared. So if you'll notice iton, kung tatanggalin niyo iton r squared, may naka pi h over 3. Iton h nga tatanggalon. Kung h tatanggalon, you have pi r squared over 3. So kung baliktaron niyo numerator ng itong denominator, then that will be 3 over pi r squared. So multiply that to both sides, so you get the equation. So importante nin whatever you do on the left side of the equation, you must also do to the right side of the equation. Kung ano iti mag-multiply nga di, amo gapitig mo multiply ni mo nga di multiply ni mo left, amo iti mag-multiply ha right. I think nga tuhan ka na first lesson pa naton algebra. This is the multiplicative property of the equation, wherein if we multiply one in the left, you also multiply that on the right. Tapos the same also with adding or subtracting on the left and the right. And then we also have here the equation for interest. A is the amount after interest, B is the principal, R is the rate or the interest rate, and then T is the time period. So if we are given already the A, the P, and the T, how will we express the equation if we want to find R? So amo yun itong process. So what we have here, so ang P nga di gin-transpose anay, so naging minus P. Tapos what we are looking for man is R, so i-divide natin by PT, so divide both sides by PT, and so we get this equation or formula. And then it's the same here in example 6. We have wala pa ako mag-physics but once you go to physics, you will be encountering this. So if you have the distance or the displacement, and then we have the initial displacement, initial velocity, and then the final velocity. What if we want to find the initial velocity and all the other variables are given? So this is what we do. So iningan gin distribute anay and 1/2. Tapos ka pag-distribute 1/2, gin-distribute liwat t. That's why you have here 1/2 VOT or V naught T and then 1/2 VT. So kung may dangayin na subscript na 0 or O, itong pagbasa ito usually is not. NAUGHT. I think that's British for 0 not. So here, so the same process. So i-transpose to the other side tanan na diri kailangan. So itong kailangan man natin is V naught. So mabibilin niya di, everything else in transpose. So naging minus inin, minus a d. Tapos we want now to get rid of 1/2 and t. So reciprocal of 1/2 is 2, reciprocal of t is 1 over t. So that's why we multiplied by 2 over t. So we also multiply that to the left hand of the equation. So naging 2d over t, 2d naught over t, tapos an vt, 1/2 vt or minus 1/2 vt, pag multiply nimo ito ha 2, so 1/2 times 2 naging 1, tapos t times 1 over t naging 1 also. So that's why v na laan nabili. Okay, so now let's go to quadratic equation. So for the quadratic equation, this is the general form. You have ax squared plus bx plus c. Tapos, ito importante good luck, kaya dapat ti a diri maging 0. Anay ha?
Pag yan ay mag-print, kaya mo din gusto nga full. Tamaklo.
Anay ha? Mag-mute na po. anay guys, wait. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm back guys. Sorry, may tuyo. Okay, sir, hapon. Okay, so going back. Nice. Send again. Okay, so going back, quadratic equation, the general form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Dapat ti a diri 0. Kaya kung ma-0 nga ti, 0 inin hiya, naging linear na la ito na aton equation. So we will know that's a quadratic equation if the highest exponent is squared for the variable x. Pwede hi b maging 0, pwede hi c maging 0. So kung may naka ax squared is equal to 0, that's still fine. Okay. So for a quadratic equation, there can be 2, 1, or no solution. So pwede duha its solution like in this first example that I'm showing that you have in the module. Pwede gap usa itong solution and pwede waray solution. And if you have read the module, you should have seen examples kung saan o nagkakaanahin 2 solutions, saan o nagiging 1 solution la, saan o nagiging waray solution. Okay, so there are several ways that we can do that we can solve a quadratic equation. So the 3 common ways are factoring. You can also have the completing of the squares and the using the quadratic formula. Pwede diretso ka mag-quadratic formula unless naka-state dun nga dahiton test na na process itong gamita. Pero kung dire nga ni, waray nga yung naka-state kung ano, pwede ka dumiretso yung quadratic formula kay always ka good arrive in either the solution or no solution kung magamit ka itong quadratic formula. Kung factoring ka nga completing the squares, bangin medyo maiha. Okay, so let's have the first case wherein iton b, anya dihan aton ax squared plus bx plus c, iton b kay diri hiya 0. So this is any number, positive or negative, fraction, basta diri la 0. Okay, so what we do here, nakag-try naman siguro ka mo, I'm sure na-discuss in Haneyo High School kung ginaano itong factoring in quadratic equation. By the ato ang trial and error han una, let me now start my tablet. Ano na tuntuan? Magkuhan lang ko magamit lang yung paint. Ang gibubuhat namon han una nga dihan kuan an high school. So magsusugad. Pag mo ka in parenthesis, tapos mag-try ka na nga di plus or minus ito nga da. Pag try ka na pagpunta nga dihin mga values tapos imo na i-expand an imo duha ka factors tas kikitaon nimo kung makuha nimo an imo tawag ito decide nimo na mga values kung makukuha pa nimo ang quadratic equation na imo gibibiling. Pero may nakita ako ininhiya na process, ininhiya na naghihimo yung table na mas madali ininhiya para mag-change kahit yung value. Mas madali hiya kung magamit kahinin na table. Pwede nga ininhiya waray na kung hiara ka na pwede na ininhiya waray x squared nga waray x. Ibubuhato na la ininala na mga values basta hiara ka na. So 3, negative 12 plus 5. So ini din bubutang naton iton A, ini nga di bubutang naton iton C, an nga di iton B. Tapos ibubuhaton nimo yan na magbibiling kayton mga factors iton A. So one possible factor is 3 and 1. Tapos possible factors liwat ni B ni negative 12 is negative 4 and 3. So since negative may hiya, one of them should also be negative. So amo iton akon una na trial na bubuhaton. Ipapadis na akon iton 3 negative 4 and 1 is positive 3. So if I multiply 3x times negative 4, I will get negative 12x. And then x times 3, I will get 3x. Tapos igaan na akon ininhira na duwa, negative 12x ngayon 3x, kikitaon ko kung magiging equal ba kan 5x. Tapos, klaro man, negative 12x plus 3x is not equal to 5x. So that means, ininhiya na pairing ni 3x nga ni negative 4 nga ni x nga ni 3 kay di rin ning asya. So, mamimiling akuhin other combinations. Now, not necessarily na parehas kita hitong aton mga trials. So, because these are trials, pwede mag-iba-iba itong magtikang. Pwede inin na damo anay ka trials before makuha niyo itong correct na combination. Pwede gyapon first trial pala kuha na niyo itong correct combination. So ang ako naging buhat yan na ang akon factors sa 3x squared mula gyapon 3x and x, but this time I want to use negative 3 and 4 na factors of negative 12. So when I multiply 3x and negative 3, you will get negative 9x, and then x and 4, you will get 4x. And when you add negative 9x and 4x, what you will get is negative 5x. Pero iti mo gusto positive. So it mahita mo niya dapat din i 4x amot negative, ini na 9x dapat positive. Para ito na yung mahitabo, dapat nga di ito negative kan 4 nga ininhiya na 3 positive. Anong kaibahan? Nga di positive ang 3 tas si 4 negative. Pero inin na 4 na negative, gin multiply kan 3. Itatong gusto yan na inin na 4 na magiging negative, i-multiply kan 1 or kan x. And so I will do that in the next trial. So i-prepare na kung 3x kan positive 3 na yan na, tapos si x kan negative 4. So when I multiply 3x and 3, we get 9x. And if you multiply x and negative 4, you get negative 4x. And when you add these two, you will get positive 5x, which is what you want. So yan na, itong paghimo na ito yung factor, itigpaparis ni mo mag-diagonal. So magiging 3x minus 4 times x plus 3. So amo na ini ito na ato magiging factor, may nakita 3x minus 4 and x plus 3. And then you can verify this na kung i-expand nimo, makukuha nimo ini na 3x squared plus 5x minus 12. Ay dati sulod. Alright. Okay. Okay. Now, yan na, kaya ano kita nagkakaadahin duha ka solutions. So, this whole thing, inin hiya, gini-equate natin to 0. Tapos, na-factor natin hiya, inin times inin is equal to 0. Now, if inin hiya la, if 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, so inin hiya, this will be 0 times x plus 3, kung ano pa may value dun imo x, 0 times, bisan ano pa hiya is equal to 0 lagi apon. At the same time, amog yapon, kung ininhi x plus 3, maging 0 ininhiya, bisan pa niya ma-positive, ma-negative, kung i-multiply ito niya to 0, everything is equal to 0. So may naka 0 times something, that is equal to 0. Something times 0, that is still equal to 0. So, meaning, bisan 4/3 itong imo value, bisan negative 3 itong value, pag substitute ito nimo dinhi, magiging equal to 0 lagi itong iya. So, those are the two solutions for this quadratic equation. Okay, next, we have 6x squared plus 33x plus 15. So, waray ko na po tayo din mga storya. So, ginbutang ko na laanit ako mga trial. So, first, 6x na akong gintry na factors are 3 and 2. Can 15 is 3 and 5. So, 3 times 3, 9. 2 times 5, 10. 9 plus 10, of course, is 19. They're equal to 33. So, another pairing. So, since positive may here, so pares la positive, so ibabalyo ko ulit nila position. So 3 times 5, you get 15. 2 times 3, you get 6. 15 plus 6 is 21. Dilagay pa siya. So, mamili ako hin iba. Pwede an imo iba hon anay kay maghimo ka din in 15 ngan 1. Or pwede yapon adiya 6 ngan 1 an akon gini mo factor. So, instead na mag 15 and 1, ginhimo pa na 6 and 1. So 6 times 5, you get 30. Then 1 times 3, you get 3. 30 plus 3, you get 33. So that means if imo factors are 6x plus 3 times x plus 5. And then you will get these two equations. You will have 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. And then x plus 5 is equal to 0. And then you will get the values negative 1/2 and negative 5. So far, any question? Tingog anay please, kung ada pa kamo. Hello?
Hello, sir. Okay man, waray pa kaya na.
Okay, sige. Padayon kita. So next, we have this 25x squared minus 30x plus 9. So the same thing. Ginbutang natin yung hira, and then we are trying different different factors. Okay, so we have 25x squared, tapos 9 na positive and then negative na 30. Okay, so pagbutang na ako nga di, ang akong gintry 25 is 5 and 5, ang butang na ako na 9 is 3 and 3. Pag multiply na 5x times 3, 15x, 5x times 3, 15x also. Pag add na kito na ira, positive 15x. I mean positive 30x. Ito gusto kay negative. So para niya maging negative 30x, ito akong gusto mag-add ako negative 15x tas negative 15x. Mahita po ito niya kung ininhiya is negative 3 and negative 3. Pwede ininhira negative 3 and negative 3 na factors kay negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9 man gyapon. So possible na factors gyapon ito negative 3 and negative 3. So when I put that here, then masasakto na. So I'll get negative 15x, which will give me negative 30x when added. So that means ito na akong factor is 5x minus 3 times 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. Since parehas man lahira, diri ko na kailangan i-duha. So usa na lang, 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. And so we get x is equal to 3 over 5. So amo hiya an example wherein you only have one solution to the problem. Okay, now what if we have the case wherein b is equal to 0, meaning may dakala x squared plus constant. So ininlaya, so ganinin, ax squared plus is equal to 0. So kung sugad nga niton case ko, no, the solution is equal to plus minus the square root of negative c over a. Okay, kaya na hiya plus minus. Nagtikam kita nga dihin x squared is equal to negative c over a. Kuhaon ta nga itong square root, meaning ano na mga numbers ko, no, kung i-square naton magiging equal to c over a. So pwede kita, or let me give you a different example. So if we have, sorry, if you have x squared is equal to 9. So x is equal to plus and minus the square root of, square root of 9. So that means this is plus and minus 3. Kasi rin nun, positive 3, square ko nga niinin hiya, magiging positive 9. Negative 3, square ko nga niinin hiya, magiging positive 9 gyapon niinin hiya. So that's why we have plus minus. Nagkakada kang plus minus kung tikang ka x squared tapos kukuhaon mo itong iya square root. Pag kunin mo ito iya square root, you will get plus minus. Okay. So we see here dapat negative c over a plus minus square root of negative c over a. So inin hiya, pagkita pala natin din maaari na kita kung may da solution or waray. So dapat para magkadahin solution, 1 usaha a niyan hasi dapat negative. Dirihira pwede parehas negative, dirihira pwede parehas positive. Magparehas sila negative or parehas sila negative, magiging negative in hiya din hi, tas magkakaada kita in imaginary number. So kaya na magiging negative na kay negative in hiya, kung negative nga di, positive nga di, so negative it whole thing. So negative times negative magiging positive na sunod. Kung positive hi C, negative hi A, magiging negative kapinin hiya, so negative times negative magiging positive. Pero kung hi C positive, hi A positive, positive over positive, that's positive times negative, magiging negative din niya sulod, so magiging imaginary. The same yapon kung negative inin, so negative C, negative A, magiging positive inin hiya, tapos times negative, so magiging imaginary yapon kay dili kita pwede magkuha ng square root in negative na number because there is no number na kung i-square nimo it magiging answer niya kay negative. Okay, so we have here some examples. So basically these are very easy. So we have this madali lang. So again, ginbubutang talahin. Transpose, divide, tas get the square root plus or minus. Okay, so masanliti yan. So next, here is the completing the squares. Importante rin niya na completing the squares kay kung matuwa kita itong higher math, nga niya calculus, itong may kita mga process later on na similar itong way of solving completing the squares. Tapos, completing the squares, ang gap inihiya itong ginagamit para kita makakuha ito na quadratic formula. Okay, so gin-outline din itong steps ano bubuhaton if you are going to do the completing the squares. So let's have an example. So let's say we have 4x squared minus 4x minus 2 is equal to 0. We want to find the solution to this using completing the squares. First, ni muna dapat buhaton, i-transpose itong constant. So the negative 3, transpose to the right-hand side. Then, what you want to do is to divide both sides of the equation by whatever is the coefficient A. So, kung ano ito ang hidinikan x squared, dapat i-divide mo both sides. Kaya gusto natin x squared na ininhiya din ito mahitabo. Once ma-divide na ito nimo dinhi, itbubuhaton nimo yan na mag-add ka hini na value. So ano inin hiya na value? That is half hinin kung ano may itong coefficiently b, in this case 1 inin hiya dinhi. So half itong 1, of course it's 1 half. Tapos imo hiya square. So 1 half squared, that is equal to 1/4. Hala, I'm sorry, this should be negative. May negative dapat din sulod hiton parenthesis. But anyway, nagiging parehas man la iton value. Okay. So, may danay kita ininhiya din this is actually already a perfect square. So, pwede actually nimo dire na ininhiya expand, pwede dire ka nimo expand, pwede ka dumiretso ininhiya dinhi. So, inin hiya, pag factor ito niya, diretso amo inin. So, x, tapos half han imo b. So, x, tapos kay negative method imo b, so minus 1 half, tapos gin square ito hiya, and then that's equal to kung ano man ito magagawas nga di. So, it so happened 3/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 1, so this is equal to 1. And then with this, we get again the square root. Kuha itong square root niya, square root niya. Square root niya, kay naka-squared man hiya, matatanggal na iton iya, iya exponent na 2. Tapos itaadi hiya magiging plus minus. Take note ha, iton may da plus minus, ininlahi nga di iton constant, waray plus minus nga di. Okay? Because this one is already squared in here, waray na hiya plus minus. Plus minus lang natin. So we will have two solutions. The first solution is wherein it's equal to the positive constant. As a second solution is equal to the negative constant. And then simplify, then you will get your two solutions. Okay, next example, 3x squared plus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0. So again, transpose anay minus 5, naging positive 5. And then divide by the coefficient of x squared. So divide everything by 3. Tapos add half of 3 is 3/2. Tapos i-square ito niya, magiging 9/4. Tapos in factored form, this is the factored form. So again ha, kung ano ang imo gin-add dinhi na waray pa nimo square, amo la ito niya at magawas dinhi. Basta hiya and fraction, just simplify that, and then you'll be able to get these values. Adihiya, on this part here, gin-rationalize natin ang denominator. To rationalize the denominator, you simply multiply by the denominator over the denominator. So 47, square root of 47 times square root of 3, naging square root of 141. Square root of 3 over square root of 3, naging 3. And then multiply itong hiyang ada, amo niya na naging 6. And then we follow, so plus minus, tapos minus 3 over 2, and then plus 3 over 2. I mean minus, we get the positive and square root, and then the negative of square root and minus 3 over 2. And then these are the solutions. And then this one here, this is an example wherein there is no solution. Pag abot nga di, we still do the same process, completing the squares. Pag abot nga di, may nakita negative 71/16. So again, dire kita pwede magtuwa itong square root in negative number. So pag tuwa in square root in negative number, then we conclude that there is no solution. Okay pa, so far? Questions? Clarifications?
None, sir.
Okay, sige, waray. Padayon kita. Okay, nga din nakita itong quadratic formula. Sige, ininha, I need you to memorize the derivation of the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula, again, as I mentioned, this is obtained by applying the completing the squares. So, ito niinin niyo. Bali itong ginbuhat nila hiya, inin na A, inin na B, inin na C, mga numbers inin hira, pero dire kita maaram kung ano itong talaga yan ng mga numbers, but we are treating them just really as numbers. So amo yun ginbuhat, naggamit yan completing the squares, tapos finally, it now kuha, amo yun hiya iton general solution for any quadratic equation. So may quadratic equation, may quadratic equation, inin hiya will always lead you to the solution or will make you conclude that there is no solution. So saan ka makaya ka na there is no solution? Kung pag-solve ni mo yun hiya, b squared minus 4ac, maging negative ka nin hiya, then diretso ka na there is no solution. Pero mag-positive ka niya or 0, then there is a solution. So basically, this is just substituting. So in here, 6x squared plus 33x plus 15. So your A is 6, your B is 33, your C is 15. So again, the formula, negative B plus minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Memoryahain ninyo, magbabalik-balik hiya always kung may dakang plano mag-take mga board exams later on na related ka math, magbabalik-balik ko hiya. So, memoryahain hiya na formula. So, you just, as I mentioned, you just substitute these values tapos solve lang niyo. Calculate and then you'll be able to get this two values. This one, balik na inin hiyang ato itong tikang haigbaw na example from the previous other methods of solving. What I'm just trying to show you here is that pwede ka magamit quadratic formula, pwede ka mag-completing the squares, or kung possible hiyang ma-factor, pwede ka magamit in factoring. So again, unless stated kung ano itong method na mo gagamiton, then you can just use the quadratic formula. Okay, so amo here again pa substitute line here. Okay, this one here is the one that is a bit challenging. So may nakita nagpaka-square root na mga equations. So, kay aniha quadratic equation, nakasolve na quadratic equation, because we can solve this by squaring. We will be squaring both sides of the equation, and when we do the squaring, later on, magkakaada kita in x squared. Okay. So, ginbuhat din ininhiya, gin square, so that's this, tapos adihiya, gin square. On the right-hand side, madali lainin hiya, pag square nimo itong haiya, tanggal la itong square root. So, naging 4 minus x. Anya di hiya, please notice, gingamit natin inihiya and proper na squaring of a binomial. So, you can treat this as your A, this is the B. So, remember, pag square in binomial, you will get A squared plus 2A times B plus B squared. So, ang gamit tayo ni an squaring of a binomial. Again, this is your A, the whole with the square root, tapos plus 2A times B plus B squared. Tapos, ininhiya, pag square, natanggal ang iya square root. Itaan hiya din waray may ininhiya x square. So, may dalagyan piya square root. As of course, 2 squared is equal to 4. Nasa diyahag, so this is 2 times 2, that's why ininhiya naging 4. May dalagyan kita nga di square root, so diri pa kita maundang. Kay gusto natin, para kita makasolve, dapat waray na kita square root. Dapat puros lahira mga integers or mga whole numbers iton ira mga exponent. So what we will do is again, square both sides of the equation. Pero simplify anay kidat nga di para dire hilabay ng pag-square. So after simplifying, we will be able to get negative 4x plus 5. So pag-square natin ito na iya, naging amo na yun, 16x squared minus 40x plus 25. And when we square this, notice may nakainin 4, tas may dainin hiya na square root. Pag square nimo, igi-square nimo hi 4, igi-square nimo inin hiya. Please remember the laws on exponents. If may daka a times b squared, then magiging equal to a squared b squared ito hiya. So kumbaga, amo hiya na ito aton a, amo hiya ito aton b. So a squared or 4 squared magiging 16 tapos an may the square root natanggal la niya square root. And please remember, this is multiplication. This is being multiplied to this whole thing, 3x minus 5. So you still need to distribute magiging 48x minus 80. So 16 times 3x, 48x, 16 times negative 5 minus 80. And then, transpose everything to one side of the equation. Pwede gain kadi ko hiya nga diha, right? Because I already have here positive ito na akong 16. So usually what we want is a positive sign to the coefficient of x squared. So i-48 yan i-80 ito na akong gin-transpose. Instead na ininhira na tulo, ito ako nag-transpose ka diha left, ininalahira na duwa na akong gin-transpose para makip na ako itong positive na sign itong x squared. And then with this is now a quadratic equation. So we apply the quadratic formula to solve it and we get these two solutions. Okay, pero dire pa human an pag-solve. So we do not conclude right away na ininhira hi 11 over 4 plus square root of 11 ngan hi 11 over 4 minus square root of 11 are two solutions. Possible la hira, di kita sure kung solution good ba talaga hira na duwa. So what we do here is first we estimate the value itong duwa. So kung may nakita 11 over 4 plus square root of 11, that is approximately 6.07. Tapos si 11 over 4 minus root of 11, that is approximately 0.57. Nga diyan natin original na equation, ininhiya 3x minus 5 plus 2 is equal to 4 minus x. Kung i-substitute natin inihi 6.07, i-substitute natin inihi nga di, 3 times 6.07, so that is 18 point something, or basta sobra 18 minus 5, positive nga di. Pero, i-substitute ta nga niya nga di, 4 minus 6.07, then that will be negative. So, magiging negative niya din, magiging imaginary. So, we do not accept 6.07 or ininhiya, 11 over 4 plus square root of 11. We cannot accept this as a solution. On the other hand, kung gamiton tayo 0.57, so may nakita 3 times 0.57, masubrain niya 5, so magiging positive lain niya din he. Tapos it nga di 4 minus 0.57, this one will be positive yapon, so this is acceptable as a solution. So 11 over 4 minus square root of 11 is a solution. So the only solution that we accept is this one. Okay, any questions on this lesson? Guys, questions, clarifications? Do you need more examples? Kailan ba kita mag-solve? Yung iba pa? Hello? May tao ba dyan? Hello?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, waray questions. Okay la. Okay lang kuan audio kanina, nagputol-putol or okay la?
Okay la, sir.
Okay la, sige. Okay, so since nakag-discuss naman kita, I will be giving you your first problem set later. Igpo-post na ako ha group chat. Tapos ininhiya, ag-stop ko na recording.